Hello and welcome to Dave's Delightful Dishes. And as always, I'm Dave, and it's such a delight to be here in my kitchen with you today. And today, we're going to do something that I quite enjoy. We're doing a recipe which is, basically Salisbury steak. Hamburger steak with onion gravy. And it's really easy. It doesn't take all that long. This is certainly something you could do on a weeknight. And let's go check it out. So what we need to start with is a pound of very lean beef. I pretty much always get 90% because I can add some more fat if I need to, but I hate wasting it all and having it render out. So we take that pound of beef, and there's a couple other ingredients here too, which I'm going to pop up now, which we'll talk about as we get into them. So the pound of beef goes into a bowl. All the beef goes into the bowl. And then I have about a tablespoon and a half, it was one small shallot, but about a tablespoon and a half of shallots. I've got them diced pretty fine. That's in there too. And I've got a steak seasoning as well, because I like having a little bit more flavor going throughout. So this is actually Montreal steak seasoning, but any all-purpose seasoning you have that you want to put in there, go for it. This is a tablespoon's worth. And then we got to use our hands here and really mix this together. Did you wash your hands first? I know I did. And I'm going to need my plate back here in a second. Because once you have this pretty well integrated, you're going to get some of this onion's going to come off, but that's no big deal. Shallot, should I say, because that's a extra fancy onion. And now we got to break this into 2 equal parts. Then I'm going to break it again because I want to make 4 individual patties. I'm going to start by making a nice firm meatball, as you see. And then I'm going to flatten it out. And this is just 1 pound of meat. So this is going to be, a light dish for 4 or a meal. I mean, I would probably do this for 2. With 1 pound, because I want 2 of these patties each. But, depending on how hungry and if you got children, maybe 1 patty will be enough. And I want to get it about a 1/4 inch thick. And it's not too hard. Just taking my time, making sure everything's kind of even. If you got an onion that's sticking out, shallot that's sticking out, just go ahead and shove that back in. And if it falls out, just let it fall away. Just make sure that these aren't too broken up. I want to have that kind of homogeneous and staying together. There's 2. Here's my other half, broken in half again. So these end up being 1/4 pound patties, basically, more or less. As you see, not too hard. And the seasoning is kind of spread throughout. But I haven't overworked the meat. There we go. I got all the good bits. And now that those 4 patties are made, I've got to wash my hands, and then we're going to head over to the cooktop where we're going to start working on everything else. All right, so I have my large cast iron pan here heating up, and I'm going to put about 2 teaspoons worth, but I'm just eyeballing it, worth of oil, because I want to just get a coating of oil on the bottom of this pan. And this is a heavy enough cast iron pan. That's actually a pain to do it like this. But since it's not too hot yet, I can still get it done. And now I've got even coverage. So you can watch the oil. And you can see it start rippling a little bit. That means that's coming up to temperature. We're not quite there yet, but we're really close. There, I can hear it starting to sizzle. So we're going to put our patties in around this pan. You hear them starting to sizzle. And we are going to cook these for 3 minutes on each side. That's not enough to cook them all the way through. But I'm going to cook them 3 minutes on this side, and I'll flip them, and then I pull them off while we do the next thing. So I will see you back once these guys are browned. Okay, it's been 6 minutes, and these guys are looking great. So it's time now, even though they are not done, we're going to pull them off because they're going to come back in once we do some other things. Now I need to add 1 more teaspoon of oil to this, just to supplement what we have. And I'm going to put, this is a whole onion sliced thin, and it's a pretty good sized onion. Call it a cup's worth, or thereabout. And we're going to take this and we're going to cook this for about 3 minutes, another 3 minutes, until these have turned color and started, doing what onions do when you're cooking them. And I want to have that at about medium heat. I turned it down on the hamburgers because they were starting to smoke a little bit. But now that we've got new things on, we can get the heat back up a little bit. You see, it's not taking very long at all. I expect this to be no more than a couple of minutes. 2 minutes to be exact. And you can see they are lightly browned and they are softened. And now we're ready to put in about 4 ounces, which is half of one of those packages you see at the store of cremini mushrooms that have been quartered. And this is going to take about 3 minutes. We're going to stir them in, and I'm going to add a pinch of salt and a quick grind of pepper. Think about it between 1/4 and 1/2 teaspoon each on those, but that is to taste. I may add more later if the gravy doesn't taste quite good enough. And then this, we're going to keep stirring regularly, but we want these mushrooms to start giving up their water and softening. And I'm going to put this down to kind of medium-low so I don't burn the onions. If it dries out too much, I can always add a little more oil. In fact, I might just add a little more oil. Just a touch. Let's keep everything lubricated. There we go. All right. Got about 2 minutes to go. This is a really delicate moment right here. So you can see the mushrooms have started giving up their water and they're softening, but the onions are starting to darken a bunch. So I want to keep it moving around, and I'm keeping this on medium-low. But I'm going to do some more stuff, so I don't have to worry about these mushrooms getting all the way soft. So now I'm spreading this out, and I've got 2 teaspoons of flour, which I'm going to shake onto this. And we're just going to combine this until this browns slightly. We're kind of making almost like a roux, but missing a couple ingredients for it. But this is going to help us thicken the gravy for this. Now you see how that is incorporated? Now I've got a cup of beef stock. We're going to stir that together, and we're going to get this to a full boil, which, as you see how hot this pan was, that's probably not going to take too long. Now let me get the heat back up because I want to get it to boil. It's just doing it on that edge there at the moment. All right, you can see it's starting to coming around the edges, moving into the middle. Let me cut it back to medium. And then it's time to put these patties back in. And I want to put its juices back in too. There we go. So we got these 4 in here. Let's see if we can't get some. There we go. And I'm just going to kind of spoon the stuff up over the top of them. I'm going to cut this to medium-low. Just let it simmer for 5 minutes. At the end of the 5 minutes, this sauce will have thickened, and that will have finished off these hamburger steak patties. And everything should be together and looking spectacular for dinner. As you can see, the gravy is thickened nicely. This is 5 minutes. If you find that it's too loose, you could always add a little bit more, flour. But I wouldn't just add flour by sprinkling it at that point. I would mix that with a little bit of water, maybe use a little cornstarch. But as you can see, this thickened up pretty well. So the other thing you can do is you can just let it go for another minute, and maybe just kind of give it an opportunity to thicken up, because that flour is going to want to thicken the sauce. But this is now ready for us to bring over and do some plating with. So I'll see you back at the workstation. Okay, I'm going to plate this up family style. So I've got a nice little serving platter. And I'll lay these out on the tray. Out on the platter they go. And you can see by their size, this is why I think, for this amount of meat, it's 2 per person. So if you want to serve 4 people, unless they're children, I would say you want to have 2 pounds of meat. But for me and my wife, this is just the right amount. And now I'm going to get all the gravy and the goodness. I'm just going to slide that all up over the top. Oh, yeah. That's out of the way. And then for final garnish, I have some green onions from my green onion plants that I have over here growing in the window. And it's actually a really easy way to do this. You just take your scissors and do some trimming. I mean, I would say with the way I can move a knife, I'm not as good as some. Like, there's some chefs that could certainly just roll right through this. I could too, but this is pretty fast. And seeing as this is how I trim them off of the plants, it's just as easy to keep going with these scissors. And just like that, we have dinner. Smells good. I know it's going to taste good, and it's delightful. So this was a really fast meal. You could do this, and what I would use for sides, like, a baked potato, mashed potato, maybe potato wedges, and good old green beans. I'll link my green bean recipe. That would go really great with this. It works great for a crowd too. You can definitely scale this up for however many people you want to feed. And please try this. It's amazing, and it'll bring you back to one of those kind of tastes of childhood. So if you like this, let me know about it. Give me some notes in the comments. Let me know what you'd like me to try next. I'm always up for challenges and requests. And if you enjoy this, please hit like and subscribe. And I will also be linking in the description, 1, the actual ingredient list, 2, my Facebook page for Dave's Delightful Dishes, and my Instagram, which I'd love you to check out. And if you do check out the Facebook page, you'll see the link for my Spreadshirt, where you can get these fine aprons and a lot of other accessories that I have listed for Dave's Delightful Dishes. Please just give it a look. And anyhow, I hope you enjoy this, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you at the next recipe.